Welcome to Beacon English Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Great to be talking about learning today.
Yeah, it's a topic close to my heart. Today, we're looking at something specific, aren't we? It's about how we learn, especially languages.
That's right. We're not, diving into complex theories, but more like the nuts and bolts of a really effective lesson, how it's built.
Exactly. We've got this fantastic example, a lesson plan designed for English beginners. We're talking real beginners, A1, maybe A2 level.
Yeah, that stage where you know some words, maybe, but putting them together feels hard, frustrating sometimes.
Totally. And this lesson focuses on the simple past tense, talking about what you did yesterday.
A very common, very useful thing to be able to do early on.
So our mission today isn't actually to learn the past tense ourselves.
No. We're kind of taking it apart, aren't we? Looking under the hood.
Yeah, we want to see the structure, the template, what makes this specific lesson work so well for building skills and, crucially, confidence right from the start.
Because there's so much stuff out there, learning materials everywhere online.
Oh, tell me about it. Information overload.
Right, but finding something that's actually structured, that guides you step by step, that's the tricky part.
And this lesson seems to nail that. It's all about structure for progress.
Okay, so let's start unpacking it. First thing, the topic. Why talking about your day? Why pick that?
Good question. Seems simple, maybe too simple.
Well, think about it. How often do people ask, how was your day? Or what did you do yesterday?
Constantly. It's like basic social interaction fuel.
Exactly. So if a beginner can answer that, even simply, they've immediately got something incredibly useful, a real conversation tool.
Okay. So it's about immediate real-world value, social currency, you could say.
Precisely. And the lesson seems to really lean into that. It frames it as sharing stories, connecting with people.
Yeah, I noticed that. It says the goal is to make the past tense feel easy and no stress, not like some scary grammar monster.
Which is so important at that A1, A2 level. You want to lower the fear, right? You start with massive verb tables.
Instant turn-off, anxiety kicks in.
But if you say, hey, let's learn just a few words so you can tell me about your morning, it feels manageable, achievable.
Okay, so the big idea here is motivation first. Make it relevant, make it feel good, then bring in the mechanics.
You got it. The grammar serves the purpose of connection, not the other way around.
All right, let's get into the architecture then. You mentioned structure. This lesson plan apparently has a very specific flow, a 7-step sequence.
Yeah, and it's presented as pretty mandatory, not just suggestions, but a fixed path. Hook, lesson, practice, mini quiz, recap, ECAP, challenge, closing message.
Wow, okay. Hook, lesson, practice, mini quiz, recap, challenge, closing. That sounds quite rigid.
It does, maybe. But think about the beginner learner. That structure is like a safety net. You always know what's coming next.
So predictability reduces anxiety.
Absolutely. No room to feel lost or overwhelmed. Each step logically follows the last.
But couldn't that rigidity stifle creativity? Language learning is often about exploration, playing around.
That's a fair point, definitely. And maybe for more intermediate learners, B1 or B2, a looser approach works better. They have a foundation.
Right.
But for someone starting from near zero, that lack of structure can be terrifying. You just freeze up. This flow is designed to carefully increase the demand.
How so? Explain that progression.
Well, look at it. You start passively, just listening during the lesson. Then you get more active with practice, repeating things. Then a small check with the mini quiz before you have to really use it in the challenge.
Ah, I see. It's a gradual ramp up, no sudden big jumps.
Exactly. It manages the cognitive load step by step, giving your brain time to actually absorb and solidify the information.
Let's look at the steps. The hook.
Yeah.
How does it start? It says something about sharing stories.
Yeah, it connects immediately to why you'd want to use the past tense. Why is this important? Because we all want to share stories. Connect with people. Talk about your day, your feelings.
So it's anchoring the grammar in a human need. Connection, not just abstract rules.
Precisely. It taps into what psychologists call episodic memory, linking it to your own life, your experiences. That makes it stick way better.
And there's this analogy, too. Yesterday is your story, and each sentence is a small step. I like that.
Me too. It reframes grammar. It's not conjugation tables. It's building blocks for your narrative. You become a storyteller.
Which is way more motivating than just being a student memorizing stuff.
Definitely. Okay, so after the hook, you get the lesson, then practice, then the mini quiz. This sequence is interesting. Lesson, practice, then quiz.
Yeah, why the quiz there before the main challenge?
This is the clever bit, I think. The structure's aha moment. It's a low-stakes check right after you've practiced.
Okay. Why is that timing so important?
It's about memory consolidation. The act of trying to pull that information out of your brain, even for a simple quiz, actually cements it much better than just repeating it again. It's active retrieval.
So the quiz isn't really about grading you.
Not at all. It's about confirming to you, the learner, hey, look, you remembered something.
It builds that little bit of confidence, that positive feedback loop.
Exactly. If you jump straight from practice to the big challenge and maybe you struggled, you might just give up. The quiz is a bridge.
A confidence bridge. Okay, makes sense. Input lesson, output practice, confirmation quiz.
Then you get a recap to reinforce it, and then the application, the challenge. It's a cycle.
You know, the structure,
Mm,
it's not just for language, is it?
not at all. Think about learning anything complex. Coding, maybe, or playing an instrument, or even a new process at work.
Yeah. You need that input, the practice, but also that moment of checking yourself, that low-stakes retrieval before you try to perform under pressure.
If you're just reading the manual or watching the tutorial and then immediately trying to do the complex task,
Yeah.
it often doesn't work.
You need that middle step, that let me try the small part, first check.
Right. It moves knowledge from just recognition, yeah, I've seen that before, to actual recall, okay, I can bring this information up myself, which is what you need for fluency in any skill.
Okay, the structure's clear, very deliberate. Now let's get into the weeds of the past tense strategy itself. They make some specific choices about what grammar to teach first.
They do. First, they define the scope clearly. Past tense is for things that already happened.
No.
Yesterday, last night, this morning, simple boundary.
Keeps it focused, but then they do something kind of weird, don't they, with the verbs?
Yeah, this is really interesting from a teaching perspective. They start with irregular verbs.
Wait, the hard ones, like go becomes went, eat becomes ate.
Exactly, the ones that don't follow the simple ed rule. They introduce woke up, ate, and went right at the beginning.
But why? Wouldn't you normally start with the easy rule? The regular verbs like walked, played, worked. That feels more logical. Build from simple to complex.
That's traditional thinking, yes. But this lesson prioritizes immediate usefulness.
Usefulness over logical rule progression.
Think about talking about your day. Can you avoid saying you went somewhere, or what you ate, or when you woke up?
Probably not. Those are super common actions in a daily routine.
They're the absolute backbone. So if you teach the regular ed rule first, the learner can't actually describe their basic day correctly for ages. They'll be tempted to say I goed or I eated.
Ah, I see. So by teaching went, ate, woke up first, you give them the power to make meaningful, correct sentences about their own lives almost instantly.
Spot on. It's a functional approach. Give them the keys to the most frequent conversations right away, even if those keys are grammatically irregular.
That's actually quite a smart inversion of the usual method. Tackle the high-frequency exceptions first.
And the way they show it is simple, too. Just a direct contrast. I eat breakfast now versus I ate breakfast yesterday. Clear visual shift. No complex grammar jargon needed.
So once those essential irregulars are introduced, then they bring in the regular rule.
Yes. Then they say, okay, for most other verbs, it's simpler. Just add it, like worked, played, cleaned.
So you establish the common pattern after dealing with the most vital exceptions.
Right. And by separating them, the ed rule becomes clearer as the default, while highlighting that went, ate, woke up just need to be remembered.
They also mention tackling common errors head-on.
Yeah, they explicitly say it's not I goed, it's I went. That's called preemptive error correction.
So you address the mistake before the learner even makes it too many times.
Exactly. You acknowledge the likely confusion point and give the correct form immediately. It stops the learner from practicing the wrong way.
And probably makes them feel a bit smarter, too. Like, oh, I know not to say that. Builds confidence again.
It all comes back to confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And managing expectations. They stress that you don't need to memorize everything at once.
Repetition is your friend, they say.
Right. It's okay if it takes time. Just keep practicing. It lowers the pressure.
And then they weave these verbs together in a mini-story.
Yes, this is another clever bit. They don't just list verbs. They put them in a logical sequence, a tiny narrative about a morning routine.
Like what? Give me the example.
Something like, I woke up, irregular. I brushed my teeth, regular. I walked to the bus stop, regular. I went to work, irregular.
Okay, so it mixes them naturally, just like real life.
And because it's a story, a sequence that makes sense, your brain holds on to it better than a random list of words. The narrative provides structure for the grammar.
You're practicing the patterns within a context that feels familiar. Smart. Reduces the mental effort later.
Okay, so the structure is sound, the content choices are deliberate,
Right.
but how do they actually get learners practicing effectively? That's crucial.
Right. Section 3 in the outline deals with these high-impact practice techniques. What's first? Something called the verb game.
Yeah, it sounds simple, almost like flashcards, but stoken.
Wow.
The host says the base verb work, and the learner has to instantly reply with the past tense worked.
Quickfire, like go.
Went, eat.
Okay, so it's forcing that immediate recall.
Exactly. It's active retrieval under a little bit of time pressure,
Yeah.
simulating a real conversation where you don't have ages to think.
But it's low stakes, right? Just a quick game, not a formal test.
Precisely. It strengthens that connection in your brain, base form to past form, especially for those tricky irregulars. It's like doing quick mental push-ups for grammar.
Okay, so that drills the forms. What comes next? You mentioned personalization earlier.
Yes, this is the bridge. After drilling the forms generically, the lesson shifts focus immediately to your story.
Moving from he went or she ate to what did I do?
Exactly. They model it first. Maybe the hosts share simple sentences about their own made-up yesterday. Emily woke up early and worked. Paul cooked breakfast and watched a movie.
Showing how the same grammar fits different stories.
Right. And then the crucial instruction is for the learner. Think about your yesterday. What did you do? Say it out loud.
Making it personal. Why is that so powerful for learning?
Because it connects the grammar to your own life, your own memories. It becomes emotionally relevant. Things linked to your own experience are remembered much, much better.
The language stops being just information out there and becomes a tool in here for expressing yourself.
You nailed it. It's about internalizing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's personalization. But then there's another technique mentioned, shadowing.
Shadowing, what's that exactly? Like following someone?
Sort of. In language learning, it means listening to someone speak and trying to speak at the exact same time, copying their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible.
Okay, wait. If the goal is to talk about my day, why would I just copy someone else word for word? Doesn't that just make you sound like a parrot?
Uh-huh. It might seem that way. But shadowing has a very specific purpose. It's not about thinking of what to say. It's about training the how.
How, meaning pronunciation and flow.
Exactly. It's physical training for your mouth and ears, getting the sounds right, the rhythm of English sentences, the musicality. For beginners, just physically making the sounds can be hard.
Like muscle memory for speaking.
Precisely. You hear the phrase maybe, I met my friend for dinner, and you try to say it simultaneously. Your mouth tries to match the rhythm, the ups and downs. It bypasses the slow translation in your head.
So it's about fluency in the sense of smooth production, not creative sentence building at this stage.
Exactly. It builds speed and confidence in just making the sounds flow together naturally.
Does the lesson guide this? Like how fast?
Yeah, it mentions doing it slowly first, then repeating at a more natural speed. That builds control. Okay, I can say this smoothly now.
Interesting technique. And there was something else about smiling.
Yes. The little psychological trick hidden in the practice. The instruction, don't forget to smile when you speak.
Smile? How does that help learn the past tense?
It doesn't directly teach grammar, obviously, but it does two things. Physically, smiling actually changes the shape of your vocal tracts slightly, often making your voice sound a bit clearer, maybe brighter.
Sure.
But more importantly, it's psychological. The physical act of smiling can actually trick your brain into feeling a bit more positive and confident. It helps counteract that beginner nervousness.
Like fake it till you make it, but with your facial muscles.
Kind of. It's using a physical cue to influence your mental state. A small thing, but potentially quite powerful for overcoming speaking anxiety.
Right, so we've got the structure, the specific grammar choices, and these active practice methods like the verb game, personalization, and shadowing. What wraps it all up? Section 4 talks about testing and the final challenge.
Yeah, the loop closes here. First, there's that mini quiz we talked about earlier. But looking closer, it's really designed as a confidence booster.
How so? What kind of questions are in it?
They're structured to ensure success, mostly. It starts with simple comprehension checks based on the little stories the host shared earlier, like true or false. Paul watched a movie about space.
Okay, just checking if you were listening. Low pressure.
Exactly. Then maybe a specific detail recall. Did Emily eat pizza or pasta? Again, testing short-term memory of the story.
Setting the learner up for success first.
Right. And only then, after you've likely gotten a couple right, comes the actual grammar check, which is correct. I go or I went.
Ah, sandwiching the grammar test between easy wins. Clever.
It's all about reinforcing that feeling of, I learned something. I can do this. It's positive reinforcement, not really assessment in the traditional sense.
Okay, quiz done, confidence hopefully boosted. Then what? A recap?
Yep, a very fast recap. Just quickly hitting the main points again. Remember, most verbs add ed, but watch out for those key irregulars.
And they list the core verbs to focus on.
Yes. Crucially, they narrow it down. They give you maybe 5 key verbs to absolutely remember and use. I woke up, I went, I worked, I had, I watched. Something like that.
Why limit it to just 5?
To make it manageable. Facing hundreds of verbs is overwhelming. Giving a small, achievable target list focuses the learner's effort for the final step. It says, master these 5 first.
Reduces the cognitive load right before the big finale.
Exactly. Which leads directly to the practice challenge. This is the ultimate application of everything learned.
And it's very specific, isn't it?
Super specific. The task is, tonight, tell someone about your day in English. Use 5 to 7 sentences in the past tense.
5 to 7 sentences, not just go practice. Why that number?
It's measurable and achievable. Go practice is vague. Where do you start? How much is enough? It can lead to avoidance. But 5 to 7 sentences is concrete. You know exactly what you need to do.
It's a minimum viable conversation about your day.
Exactly. Enough to be useful, but not so much that it's overwhelming. It forces you to actually use the language in a real or simulated real context.
And the example they provide reinforces the mix of verbs.
Yeah, the sample sequence might be like, I woke up early. Irregular. I made coffee. Irregular. I went to work. Irregular. I met a friend. Irregular. I watched a movie. Regular, assuming watched, was also taught or kept.
Yeah.
It forces you to use both types.
So the challenge directly applies the specific irregulars and the regular rule they taught, all within that personal narrative framework.
It ties everything together perfectly, from the initial hook about sharing stories right through to the final challenge of actually telling your story using the tools provided in a manageable way.
Okay, so stepping back, what have we really learned from dissecting this lesson structure?
Well, for me, it reinforces that effective teaching, especially for beginners, isn't just about throwing information out there. It's about careful, deliberate design.
The structure is paramount. That 7-step flow provides safety and manages cognitive load.
Absolutely. And then the content choices, like hitting those high-frequency irregular verbs, first prioritize immediate usefulness over abstract rules.
Personalization is key too. Making it about your story makes it stick.
Definitely. And the practice needs to be active and varied, quick recall games, shadowing for the physical aspect, not just passive review.
And it's all geared towards building confidence, isn't it? The low-stakes quiz, the manageable final challenge.
Every step seems designed to give the learner a sense of accomplishment. You can do this. You are making progress. It's engineered success to keep motivation high.
It really bridges that gap between knowing about the language and actually using it, even in a simple way, right from the start.
Which is huge for overcoming that initial hurdle where so many learners get discouraged.
There's a final thought in the material, isn't there? A kind of call to action.
Yeah, a powerful one. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just start.
That applies to so much more than language learning.
Totally. And connecting it back to the lessons challenge, that 5 to 7 sentences idea, it's about taking immediate, concrete, manageable action.
That's the engine of progress, isn't it? Not waiting until you feel 100% ready, but committing to a small, specific, achievable step.
Think about applying that right now. Maybe there's another skill you're trying to learn, instead of feeling overwhelmed by the whole thing.
Break it down. What are the 5 to 7 essential steps or pieces you could practice tonight?
Exactly. Learning guitar, master 5 chords perfectly. Trying a new recipe, focus on getting those first 5 steps absolutely right. Investing. Make 5 well-researched small trades this week.
It shifts the focus from distant mastery to immediate successful action. The confidence comes from doing the small thing well.
Right. The structure gets you started. The achievable challenge builds momentum. That seems to be the secret sauce here. Build the path, then walk the first few steps confidently.
A great takeaway. Structure plus achievable action equals progress and confidence.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for listening to Beacon English Podcast.
Keep practicing. And remember, practice makes progress.